Hey, what's up guys? John from Mongo Fishing. Today I want to talk to you guys about a question that I get asked occasionally, and that's about sponsorships. How to get sponsors or pro staff positions or, something along that line, right? And so that's what I'm going to discuss. Now keep in mind, I am not an expert in this in any way, shape, or form. So what I'm going to provide you guys is my experience with this situation, along with I reached out to some friends of mine in the industry who are the ones that make those decisions, right? They're the people in charge of picking who they want on their team. Some of them are companies that I work for, and some of them are companies that I don't work for. They're just friends of mine that are in that role. If this is something you guys are interested in, hit that subscribe button right down there along with the bell notification button so you get notified every single time I put out another video. And let's get into it. All right, guys, so here's the deal. First off, this is not meant to slam any person or any company or anything like that, right? This is just strictly my opinion and some I guess, facts from people that are in the industry that make these decisions, their input, what they look for. And so we're going to discuss like the difference between sponsors and pro staff position, what a pro staff position is, what a sponsor is, and then when you're just a customer, and that's a thing also. I guess let's start with some definitions, if you will. So sponsors. Okay, a sponsor is a company who is paying you to represent their company. Whether they're you're paying your entry fees or giving you some sort of monthly stipend, or maybe like a one-time lump sum every year, or whatever, something like that. That is a sponsor. Now, promotional staff, you notice that's not professional staff, that's promotional staff. That's someone whose products you're using, and in return you're getting a discount. You are promoting them, and in return you get some sort of discount. 30, 40, 50, whatever % off of your purchases. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of people in the industry, a lot of other fishermen who bash staffers, but it's because there's some staffers out there just making bad decisions and making bad contracts. Not all contracts are good. Keep that in mind. And then there's the times where you're just a customer and you're not promotional staff per se. Maybe you are, but in the grand scheme of things, you're really not. And I'll get into that too. You know what? I'll start there right now. So when you're a customer, okay, so if you're on, I don't know, we'll take Instagram for example, and you'll see something that says like, you'll see a post that says from some random company that says like, the next 100 people who DM us will get on our promotional staff. Like, bro, do you really want to work with that company? You know nothing about them. They know nothing about you. You're literally just sending them a DM, and then that puts you on their promotional staff? No, dog. That's a horrible, horrible idea. You are literally just a customer, because what's going to end up happening is they're going to send you something like, hey, we'll give you a 20% off discount for you to wear our sweatshirt or wear our t-shirts or whatever. What makes that special? Like, honestly, why is a 20% off discount to a company who you weren't wearing their products in the first place? Why is that special? If Hanes hit you up on a random Thursday and said, hey, buy some Hanes underwear and I'll give you 20% off, would you do it? Probably not. Not unless you needed some Hanes underwear. You're just a customer in that situation, man. Avoid those. Stay away from those. Same thing if you apply for a company and if you're just clout chasing, right? If you just want to align with the company because you want to wear their logo on your jersey. You don't use the company normally. You know nothing about them. You just heard that they're looking for people, and so you applied just so you can wear their logo on a jersey. It's a horrible idea, man. You should never have to pay to be a member of their promotional staff. Now, there are sites out there, and this is not a bash on them, there are sites like National Pro Staff where you pay like $25 or whatever so that your application ends up in the right hands. Now what I mean by that is like, we'll say Booyah, for example. I'm not aligned with Booyah, but we'll say Booyah contacts National Pro Staff and says, hey, we're looking to hire some people on our pro staff or our field staff. And so National Pro Staff sends out, a mass email, and then everybody who wants to work for Booyah then sends in their application along with $25, and the National Pro Staff takes that $25 as like a finder's fee or whatever, and then they make sure that your application ends up in the right hands of the guy over at Booyah that makes the decisions. Doesn't mean you're going to get the position. It just means that your application made it in the right hands, because sometimes that can be hard to find on who is supposed to see the application in the first place, who are the decision makers. So a situation like that, you're not paying for the position, you're paying for a company to do the legwork to make sure your application gets in the right hands. It does not mean you're going to get a position at all. Maybe Booyah is looking to hire 300 people, and so everybody who applies gets it. Or maybe Booyah is looking for one person, and 300 people apply and pay $25 each, and only one person gets it. You don't get the refund regardless if you get picked up or not. Like $25 is gone. You're just paying to make sure your application ends up in the right hands. So you can use them if you want, you can not use them if you don't want. Strictly up to you. I'm just letting you know that does exist, and that's not paying for a position. It's paying for a service. So when you apply for these positions, a couple things you need to keep in mind is it's not about what the company can do for you, it's what you can do for the company. If you're going to companies saying, hey, give me 40%, give me 50% off, give me whatever, that's going to be the first way you're just going to get shot down. So you need to approach these things as what can you do for the company to help them grow and to promote their products. Make sure you align yourself with companies who you want to work with and who you want to work for. So in other words, know the products that you're trying to represent, right? Make sure it aligns, either the company aligns with your beliefs or you actually truly believe in the products. That's really, really big. Don't just sign on with a company because they're willing to sign on random people. Like, that's a horrible, horrible idea. Also, don't bounce from company to company to company just getting discounts. Like, I've seen this on YouTube several times where a person's like, hey, I signed on with this cold weather gear company, and then I bought, my rain gear, and then I dropped them so I can move on to a different company and get, something else. Like, bro, you are just setting yourself up for failure. Because although the fishing industry is huge, the people who make these decisions is a very small knit community, and they talk. Your name will get out and get around, and not in a positive way. You need to be careful, man. Loyalty is huge. If you have to leave a company, that's fine. You have to leave a company, do it on good terms, and do it for the right reasons. Don't just use them to get a discount and then bail, because that's just going to set you up for failure in the future. Some contracts you're expected to be exclusive. Like, I signed on with Denali rods, okay? So I have to be exclusive with Denali. If I went out and made a video after I signed on with Denali and made a video with, talking about, a Falcon Buku rod about, hey, I went out and did a product test of this thing and I think it's really cool and blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, you can expect to hear back from your company in that situation, right? I would expect to hear back from Denali that, dude, you done messed up. So keep that in mind. If you don't want to be exclusive with a company, don't sign a contract with a company. Now, there are times like, I'm signed on with Castaic. I use their crankbaits. I use some of their soft plastics, but I'm not required to strictly only use their crankbaits and only use their soft plastics, which is good. I made sure when I read the contract. You just got to pay attention to that. Be careful with what the expectations are in the contract. And if a contract says you got to do this, that, and the other, then you better stick to that. Either that or let them know ahead of time why you're not going to be able to stick to that. That's something that needs to get worked out. Don't get caught doing something stupid. So just don't do something stupid. A contract is a contract. All right, so what are companies looking for? You know what? One big thing, and this is like in no particular order, But one, no drama. Don't bring drama. Be honest, be truthful, have a good reputation, stuff like that. Like they're looking at your social media, they're looking at, how you carry yourself, asking around. Like I said, the decision makers is a small knit community. They ask around what other people think about you. That's huge. It's not just about catching fish. Okay, so this is word for word from a friend of mine who is a decision maker. Okay, so they want to see something that makes them stand out. Can they talk to people? Are they motivated? Are they positive? Are they ridiculous on social media? Do they have goals? Do those goals align with the company's goals? Do they live in growth markets? Are they active on social media? Like, you don't have to have a giant platform, but are you growing? Are you active? What events do they fish and why? Are they willing to work? And do they want to grow? Like, that is all from one person. That is what this one decision maker looks for. So some of these I already touched on, right? Like, are they positive? That kind of lines in with what I was saying. Like, are they truthful? Are they respected? Do their goals align with the company's goals? Like, stuff like that, right? Let's talk about if a company says no, because it's happened to me. And honestly, every company who has said no, in the long run, it's kind of been a blessing. I'll tell you a story. So several years ago, there used to be a company called Lucky Tackle Box. And I thought, like I was doing unboxings for Lucky and Mystery Tackle Box. Like, I wasn't aligned with either one of the companies. I was just buying their products. I was a regular customer. And I honestly believed that Lucky Tackle Box was better than Mystery because I liked the way the company was doing things. I liked that, October they put out pink hooks for breast cancer awareness. Like, just little things like that. Like, I really thought that they were better than Mystery. And, I'd been with them for like a year as a customer. And I applied to be a staff member. I forgot what they called it. But, promotional staff, a field staff, whatever, something like that, right? I applied, and then like the next month's box came out, or maybe 2 months later, the box came out, and I didn't really like what was in the box. And this was like June of 2018, I think it was. And I didn't really like what was in the box, and I was like, maybe it's just a bad box. And then July came out, and it was garbage also. And then like August came out, and they just progressively seemed to get worse and worse and worse. And I was telling Mrs. Mongo Fishing that, I don't think I want to be aligned with this company. And luckily they said no. And that was a blessing in disguise because, I didn't know what I know now is they were going downhill. And I'm really glad that I wasn't out there promoting their products, talking about how I really liked them and blah, 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 with a company that was going a route that I didn't like how they were going. And that would have made me lose credibility. So, I'm glad that didn't work out. Another company was Favorite Rods. I bought into their hype. I'm not saying that they're bad rods. I'm not saying that at all. But I wanted to be a member of Team Favorite. And I still don't really know why. I think it's just because I really wanted a rod sponsor. And again, I was still new at this. But I wanted to have that clout that I have a rod sponsor. And again, I was new at this, right? Young in my career and very impressionable in my career. And I really wanted that clout of having a rod sponsor. And so I applied for Favorite, and they said no. And I was kind of like, oh man, that sucks. But I look back at it now, and I'm not upset by it at all. I don't throw their stuff, man. I was wanting them for the wrong reasons. I wasn't wanting them because I believed in their products. I wasn't wanting to get on with them for anything like that. Not because I thought that their products were the best or because I liked the route that the company was going, or none of that, right? Like, that was not why I was applying. I was applying for the wrong reasons. I was applying for the clout that it was going to give me for being a young angler with a rod sponsor. And that's just not the right thing to do. So, now I am signed on with Denali rods, and that's good. I use their products. I believe in their products. Honestly, the only one that I think it's hurt a little bit has been Lunker Hunt. Like, I applied for Lunker Hunt. They said no. That one stung, and that one still stings a little bit because I still use their products quite a bit, but whatever. It is what it is. It probably wouldn't work anyway because I have other, Castaic and Reaction Strike. Maybe contractually it wouldn't work out having another, like, major brand that makes hard plastics and soft plastics. I get it. But yeah, that did sting for a little bit. It's not about the fishing. Like, the fishing is expected. They expect you to be able to catch fish. Okay? That is such a small portion. Are you truthful? Are you honest? Do you bring drama? Is it stuff that's going to make the company look bad because they aligned with you? Like, that's the stuff that's important. Not all exposure is good exposure. Okay? Companies don't want to be aligned with someone who's going to make them look bad. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that answers a bunch of your guys' questions or some of your questions. Just, take your time. It'll happen. If a company says no, don't worry about it. Some of my best blessings have been companies that said no. I applied to Lucky Tackle Box. They said no. Where's Lucky Tackle Box at now? Gone. Favorite said no. Who cares, man? I was looking at it from the wrong point of view anyway. If a company says no, don't worry about it. Move on. Again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this answers some of your questions. If you guys have any more questions, drop them down below. I'll answer them as best I can. If I don't have the answer, I'll reach out to my friends in the industry who do have the answers and see if they can answer it for you. Again, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, get on the water, be safe, and go stick some limbs.